Hello and welcome again to Not Fake News. I don't even know where to begin. I have a bunch of good stories for you. I'll tell you right now. Let's clean this out. I got one uh, article here. After all the horrible news about Flynn, Trump finally got some really great news. I got illegal alien Rosa came forward and said one thing that'll make Trump's jaw drop, and it's something new, not the same as before, because I did a video. America's back. Mathis just gave us NATO and an ultimatum that President Trump loves. And this one's boom. National Security Advisor just found brilliant way to stop leaks. Trump is thrilled. So let's begin. After the horrible news about Flynn, Trump gets great news. President Trump has had a hard week so far. The media has been ruthless. It's been pretty bad. They aren't even trying to hide their bias anymore. It's frankly disgusting. General Flynn fell on his sword after all of his service to this country. He did something wrong, that's a fact, but despite all the bad news, Trump is a little bit up in the polls. Americans are starting to see the president in a good light again because the media has continued to attack him over the Flynn issue, and we need to keep this feeling going. I also, about the Flynn thing, he was cleared completely by the FBI. Just so you know. I did a story earlier. Here's some polls. I hate polls. I don't trust polls, but, I bet he's way more up than this. According to the Ramsam, Trump is up in the polls. Data shows 50% of U.S. likely voters approve of him now, as 47 disapprove. And then it says we need to keep this going up. Trump needs our help. Yep. He is down, but he's not out. This country still wants to make America great again. I mean, look how nasty the media has been attacking him.
President Trump has been in office for less than 4 weeks, but if you pick up the front page of the Washington Post today, they claim the White House is already in, yes, crisis mode. Tonight, a Democratic congressman is actually talking about removing Donald Trump from office. And then there's the DNC. Its senior advisor, Zach Petkanis, is charging the Trump-Russia connection, as you guessed it, already bigger than Watergate. Zach joins me live. It's good to see you. You seem to be a calm, reasonable guy.
My mother thinks so.
And I think so on the surface. But why this hysterical charge on day 26? This is bigger than Watergate.
Oh, I don't think it's hysterical. Let's talk about the facts. We know that a foreign government has interjected itself in our election to help
And we
Donald
knew that
Trump
weeks ago.
win. Yes.
That they interjected themselves.
But what we didn't know is that the Trump campaign, senior officials were in communication with the Kremlin. Not just the Kremlin, the intelligence services that were actually working to help Donald Trump get elected.
Okay, and we've heard that for a long time.
No.
We have. And I want to play the full context of what you said earlier on Facebook Live. Watch this.
I'm Zach Petkanis, director of the Trump War Room here at the DNC. Over the last 48 hours, the press has confirmed what many of us already suspected. Donald Trump and his aides have repeatedly lied about their contact with Russia. And now, the American people are witnessing one of the biggest political scandals in American history. This is bigger than Watergate.
Okay, and look at what you said in there.
You know something? It's so full of crap. And I want to tell you something. I could do the same thing. I could go and I could say real bad things about Trump. And you know what? Instead of having 10,000 views or 100,000 views, I would have 50 million views, a million views, 2 million, 5 million. But you know what? It's wrong, man. What are these people thinking? I don't believe that they're stupid. These are smart people that we're looking at. Not this guy, but the hitman, the bald dude. Can't be that stupid.
President Trump, not just his aides, President Trump has, quote, repeatedly lied about contact with Russia.
That's correct.
When did the president lie?
On January 11th, at least on January 11th. On January 6th, Donald Trump...
Okay, what did he say on January 11th? He had a news conference, and afterwards people shouted at him.
And afterwards, he was asked whether his aides had contact with the Kremlin, and he said no. And that was 5 days after he received an intelligence briefing that said the exact opposite, where the FBI and the CIA informed him that, in fact, his campaign and senior aides did have contact with intelligence
And
officials.
so contact.
5 days after. And
Okay.
it's not only Donald Trump who lied.
Yeah.
It's actually Mike Pence who lied as well. On January
I heard that it's completely legal for the host of this show to just reach across the table and punch this guy in his mouth. I think that I heard that that's completely fine. That would, not even the bald guy would think it's wrong. He knows he deserves that.
How did he lie?
On January 15th, he was asked the question whether campaign aides had communication with the Kremlin.
Communication.
And he said no. And again, this is after January
This guy just likes saying Kremlin. He wakes up in the middle of the night. Kremlin!
6th, when he was a part of a briefing
Okay.
where it said the exact opposite.
And,
So
and
yes,
the screenwriter
Okay, Psycho.
story in the
Okay,
New York
next
Times
question.
today that laid out these contacts you talk about said, and let me quote it directly.
Let me quote the
officials
nonsense.
interviewed in recent weeks, intelligence officials, said that so far they had seen no evidence, Zach, of such cooperation.
Zero.
So you may have the Trump administration on contacts, okay, but there was no
which was the
collusion.
question that they lied.
Okay,
that they
so
lied
let's
about.
concede that maybe Donald Trump didn't, and I'm not saying he did, but on January 11th, he suggested there was no contact, and you're saying there was contact. I'm still not seeing this as bigger than Watergate.
Well, I mean, let's be clear about how the scandal has unfolded. When we first learned about it in July, it was just that the Russians had interfered in the election. It wasn't that they had helped Trump. And then we learned it was in fact that they did it to help Trump. But it wasn't that there was any communication between the Kremlin and the top aides. And then we learned that there was communication between the Kremlins and the top aides. So this is where we currently are in the story. And what we need to do is we need to find out more information, which is why we need an independent, transparent investigation that can start to get to the bottom of
Investigation.
this.
But
What we need is for you to walk out the back door and get a hood thrown over your head by some secret agents.
there are Democrats talking about impeachment. I'm still not hearing Watergate. I want to make two quick points. Robbie Mook, the former Clinton campaign manager, was on CNN. I'm going to summarize it.
Of course, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm joking.
He said there are parallels to it, just as you have. It seems like talking points are going around. But CNN themselves, we have a full screen here, said, quote, Trump aides were in constant touch with senior Russian officials during the campaign, but officials emphasized that communication between campaign staff and representatives of foreign governments are not unusual, that this is not unusual. That's what CNN says. And then let's look at the list of what happened in Watergate. Then I'm going to give you as
It's not unusual. Just like Trump spoke to a lot of different people when he's in the transition, and he's still doing it. But in the beginning, how he was talking to everyone. Same thing with Michael Flynn. When he started his new job, he started contacting all his old buddies that he knows in the field, and he's kind of like tell them, hey, yeah, I'm here. Let's we're going to be talking about stuff and getting things done and blah blah blah. Why is this guy making a big deal out of it?
much time as you need.
Okay, you're missing a piece.
Okay, a total of 69 people were charged with crimes. Crimes Act. 48 people and 20 corporations pleaded guilty. Some of those convicted were major players, the Attorney General, the White House counsel, dozens of people. We have a whole list on the screen there. So you have CNN saying it's not unusual for there to be communications between the campaign and foreign government, any campaign.
That's CNN saying it. That's fake news. That is the Oz. That's the Wizard of Oz right there. The Wizard of fake news is CNN. They're saying there's nothing there. Baldy, dude, and nothing. I don't have anything against bald people, but dude, come on, man, drop it. I know this is your thing. This is your one thing in your 5 minutes of fame.
Number one. And number two, the New York Times themselves, and this screamer of a story said today, there is no evidence of collusion. How is this Watergate?
What you are
Oh,
missing
God.
here is that they also said
New
that
York's
what
lines,
is
too.
unusual is the frequency of the contacts as well as the level of the aides, the seniority of the aides that was in communication with Russian intelligence agents. And let's remember that we are just.
Listen, if I'm going to play this, it seems to be long. It's like another 5 minutes of this guy blabbering on, I think. If you don't want to hear that and you want to get to the other stories, it's 2017. You know how to fast forward this video if you want to. You don't have to listen to him, but
Just at the beginning
I'm going to play it for the people who actually want to hear what the rest of this guy's got to say.
of this scandal that's unfolding, there have already
I will do that for you. I will submit myself to this man's ridiculous rant banter.
already been 3 resignations from the Donald Trump operation.
Three resignations?
Because of
General Flynn.
We have General Flynn. We have Paul Manafort, who because of
That
his,
didn't have
his
anything.
connection.
He said today that he
his
didn't
connection.
have, that he spoke to one Russian official, and that it's being exaggerated. He didn't resign over that.
Well, good thing this White
But
House.
hold on, you just said he resigned over this. He did not resign over that. He got pushed out of the campaign.
Fake news there, Baldy.
Absolutely resigned
Okay,
over it.
he didn't. He says he did.
Okay, he absolutely. He says he did. He says he didn't. You're a liar. You're wrong. Okay.
In
Who's
summer.
the third one?
I'm sorry, but I'm going to press this point. Paul Manafort resigned amidst the FBI closing in on his communication and potential coordination with the Russians. That is a
Here
fact.
we are months later, and we haven't seen anything from the FBI Manafort. Maybe something will happen. Who's the third official? You said
what
3
you're saying is
officials
simply not
resigned.
true. And then there's Carter Page, who was a foreign policy advisor who resigned during the campaign after meeting with Russian officials who were under sanction, including the Russian official
Okay.
who was supposedly in charge of intelligence gathering on U.S.
Okay,
elections.
so I want to go back to something important you said a moment ago. You're throwing out all kinds of things. You're saying there should be
They're
an
called facts,
investigation.
but yes.
No, but you're saying it's bigger than Watergate, and there should be an investigation. There's already several congressional committees that are looking at this, including Republicans like Lindsey Graham, who's not exactly a friend of President Trump. But I want to make another important point. Democratic Congressman Earl Blumenauer today formed a panel to look at how to remove a president from office. And it said in part in the Hill today, Blumenauer said he became concerned about the amendment's potential shortcomings after growing worried over President Trump's behavior. He pointed to Trump's claim that there was sunny weather during his inauguration when in fact it rained. What is going on in the Democratic Party right now? If the president says it was sunny, but it actually rained, are you ready to remove him from office over
I'm
that?
going to let Earl Blumenauer
So do
speak.
you
to
disavow?
Earl
You say
Blumenauer.
this is a silly exercise by a Democratic congressman?
I don't know anything about that committee. What I do know about the committees that we do need, and those are independent investigations, something that Senator Graham said that he was open to,
I did that purposely. I'm not making mistakes.
and that is a select committee, a bipartisan select committee that is formed specifically to investigate
Okay.
these.
So let's say that tomorrow the Trump administration somehow magically says we're for an independent, bipartisan investigation of all of this.
Amazing.
The Democratic National Committee has already come out and said it's bigger than Watergate. So you've prejudged that investigation, haven't you?
The investigation has so much to uncover. For example,
But so much to uncover. You've called it bigger than Watergate before it's uncovered anything. The investigation hasn't even fully started.
Here's what we know the investigation is doing, that the CIA and the FBI are investigating. They're investigating whether the Kremlin is funneled money to the Trump campaign. That's one of the
Whether they
things.
did.
Yes, no, that's...
So here's my bottom line point. I'm acknowledging to you, let's point out, for example, a Republican senator today, Bob Corker, okay, a Republican said he's tired of the dribble of President Trump's Russia story. He said, quote, all of it is concerning. All of it is very concerning. I'm acknowledging to you there are senior Republicans like Bob Corker saying this could be a problem, but could be. You're out there. I'm going to give you this is the last. Before anything happens, you're shooting first and asking questions later. You've prejudged the man 26 days into his administration.
We know too much already. We know that his actions are pro-Russian, and that's extremely
How has he been pro-Russian? He said things that you think are pro-Russian.
He's defending...
He's been in office for 26 days. What has he done to help Russia?
Regime on TV.
What has he done to help Russia in 26
He's
days?
eased the sanctions on the intelligence community in Russia.
I love this guy right now.
He hasn't removed the Obama sanctions.
I mean, he has eased the sanctions on Russian spies. He has attacked NATO and the European Union.
General Mattis said NATO's a very important alliance. Is that right?
NATO? I believe it's a very
He
important
attacked it in
alliance.
the campaign.
Donald Trump
General
doesn't
Mattis, the
believe
defense
it's a very-
secretary, said
it's a very
NATO's an important alliance.
He also made moves today to potentially remove support from NATO. That is playing into Vladimir Putin's playbook. That is doing his bidding. That is not standing up
There's
to
one
Russia.
thing that I'll acknowledge that Donald Trump is not cooperating with one entity, and that's ESPN. President Obama used to turn over his brackets for the NCAA Final Four, and today the White House said Donald Trump will not do that. Will you soon be asking, when did Donald Trump know about March Madness, and what did he know about it?
That's a scandal that's bigger than Watergate.
Okay. I appreciate you coming in. Thanks, Zach.
Thank you.
Up next, we'll dive deeper into the...
Oop, 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 oop. I hate that. All right. Okay. You know, that's where we are going to make this article into Trump train rally, y'all. Help us make this video go viral and send out the message to Trump that we will stand by him. Please do the following. 1. Comment, I can stand with you. I stand with you, Trump, in the comment below. Share this article with 3 of your friends. Tell them to share it. We need to rally behind him and fight for the Democrats trying to impeach him in every way he turns. It's time to bring this country together. Amen. Next story. Illegal alien Rosa just came forward and said one thing that makes Trump jaw drop, including your jaw. Look how she's scared right there. That's why she looks like that. She got her glasses on. She got her I'm innocent glasses on. Jailed illegal alien Rosa Ortega says that she's not a criminal. She lives in Texas and voted in 5 different elections in the past decade, and she is not a United States citizen, though she told reporters this week that she did not know that citizens and residents are technically different. Now look at that face. That's the real Rosa right there. I hate America. Look at that smug look on her face. That's not a stupid person who didn't know the difference between it. She knew. Look at that face. Honestly, did the guy snap the photo at the right time or what? That's some hatred right there. She's pissed. Rosa thinks that she's a scapegoat. She thinks that the government is after her. See? She's just hateful.
Stuff going on today. Good morning to all of you. Hope you're off to a great day. The illegal immigrant just convicted of voter fraud says that she is being used as a scapegoat. Listen to this.
They could have did this to someone else that really did something wrong, that really did a crime.
That's really wrong. What you did really is really wrong. Out of this entire election, the media saying all bad things on TV, riots going around, it was you, the illegals, that were voting for that criminal Hillary that made me most angry. The fact that you were going out and you were voting, getting bussed in to vote for that monster, made me so scared. You scared me. You had me scared until he won. I was petrified that it might work. It's not a small thing you did. Sorry. I'm real sorry. You scared millions of people.
Against me, just to be an example. It's just not fair. That's just not fair.
It's not fair. Her name is Rosa Ortega. She says she didn't know the difference between citizen and resident when she illegally voted 5 times over the last decade. A judge in Texas sentencing her to 8 years behind bars. A dramatic...
Boom. Okay? They could have did this to someone else who, this is what it says, they could have did this to someone else who really did something wrong. They did a crime against me. This is just an example. It's just not fair. Shoot. She's been sentenced to 8 years in prison. Let me repeat. She says that she voted in 5 different elections, according to the Star Telegram. She voted in 2 recent elections in Dallas County. And Democrats say that there is no proof of voter fraud. Duh. Like there is. Look at this. Her name is Rosa Ortega. And every time you eat a taco, I want you to think of that. Okay? Because of Ortega tacos, you know what I mean? Isn't Ortega the Ortega taco brand or whatever? If I'm wrong, I apologize. Anyway, that's why we need to get these news articles out there. We have to fight the mainstream media together. Share this post to only 10 million people this time, and so we cannot let these leftists control the conversation. It's true. Make your voice loud and proud. Patriots, we do not want illegal voting anymore. Okay? And that's why you want to like the video that you're watching, so we get up there on top of these Democrats with their crappy videos, and we beat them that way too. Next article. What she was talking about, or that guy before was talking about NATO. Here we are. America's back. Mattis just gave us NATO and an ultimatum that President Trump loves. I'm sorry, I'm going to repeat that. America is back. Mattis just gave NATO an ultimatum that President Trump loves. Everyone was so excited to have General Mattis as their new Secretary of Defense. The man is a superhero of war, for God's sake. Today, Mattis took on his greatest adversary yet, NATO. In his first ever meeting as Secretary of Defense, he shocked NATO with an ultimatum they cannot ignore. Ned Dog. All NATO members need to start paying their own defense bills by December, or the U.S. is done, Mattis told 27 county security councils. Whatever. No longer can the American taxpayer carry disappropriate share of the defense of Western values. Americans cannot care for your children's future security than you do. Ooh, freaking brilliant. As Americans, we want to help everyone, but it is not our responsibility.
Good afternoon, Secretary Mattis. It's great to welcome you to NATO headquarters. We spoke on phone on the first day when you have taken up your new position as Secretary of Defense. But it's great to welcome you here at the NATO headquarters and be able to congratulate you.
Mattis is thinking, yeah, you're happy I'm here.
On your appointment, and
look at me in the face and tell me you're happy I'm here.
To say to you that I really look
just once look me in the eyes while I stare you down hardcore.
Forward to working together with you. You are an accomplished leader. You know NATO very well. You served as Supreme Allied Commander for Transformation.
I love it.
And you made sure that NATO adapted to a new and more demanding security environment. But NATO has to continue to adapt, and that's exactly what we're going to address at our meeting today, how NATO continue to adapt to a new security environment. This is a crucial time for our transatlantic alliance. The challenges we face are the most complex and demanding in a generation. Neither Europe nor North America can tackle them alone. A strong NATO is good for Europe. A strong NATO is good for North America. And therefore I welcome the US commitment to the transatlantic bond. This is a commitment which we see not only in words but also in deeds. US troops and equipment are now arriving in Poland and to the Baltic countries. This is a clear demonstration of US determination to stand with Europe in these troubled times. At the same time, the US has been clear that we need more defense spending and fairer burden sharing. This has been my top priority since I took office in 2014. After many years of cuts, I'm glad to say that we have turned a corner. Our latest figures, which we published yesterday, show that defense spending among European allies and Canada increased by 3.8% in real terms in 2016. And that is roughly $10 billion US. This is significant, but it is not enough. We have to continue to increase the defense spending across Europe and Canada. So we need to keep the momentum. At our meeting, we will also assess what more NATO can do in the fight against terrorism. This is a concern to our people on both sides of the Atlantic, and NATO must play our full part. We have been helping to fight terrorism in Afghanistan for almost 15 years. We are training Iraqi officers and supporting the counter-ISIL coalition with AWACS surveillance planes. Today, we will decide to set up a new hub for the South at our Joint Force Command in Naples. This will help us assess and address threats from the region, and it will complement the work our new intelligence division of our new intelligence division here at the NATO headquarters. So, Secretary Mattis, this will be an important meeting. We have a lot of work ahead, and I really look forward to working with you. And once again, welcome, or I should rather say welcome back to NATO. It's great to have you here.
Thank you, Secretary General. Thank you very much for the warm welcome back to my second home. It is an important meeting, as you point out, and I think we're here, as you all know, to chart the course of the alliance in the future. The events of 2014 were sobering, and we must continue to adapt to what's being revealed to us in terms of our security challenges. The alliance remains a fundamental bedrock for the United States and for all the transatlantic community, bonded as we are together. As President Trump has stated, he has strong support for NATO. And NATO is in the midst of transformation. It has always been adapting to the security challenges. This is nothing new. Perhaps the pace of change has certainly picked up a bit, but this is something that we can deal with. And it's absolutely appropriate, as a European Minister of Defense said last week, it's a fair demand that all who benefit from the best defense in the world carry their proportionate share of the necessary cost to defend freedom. And we should never forget it. Ultimately, it is freedom that we defend here at NATO. And I do have confidence that we will prove once again that we can react to the changing circumstances. We've done so in the past. There's every reason for confidence that we will move out purposefully together once again. I am here to listen to my fellow ministers, to have an open conversation among friends and allies about where we're going and our shared level of commitment. Thank you, Secretary General Stoltenberg.
Thank you so much. Welcome.
Okay. So, you know what? I feel like I don't even get enough opportunity to say this, but I'm so proud to be an American right now. With Trump defending us at home and Mattis abroad, we're finally at a force to be reckoned with again. Let's share our pride from sea to shining sea by posting this on every single page on Facebook with a comment, "America is back, baby." You know, I and I'm not kidding you, but while I was watching him, I was saying, I was thinking to myself, I finally feel safe. It's so weird. I can't believe they just said that. I must have subliminally seen that or something in the corner of my eye. I don't really believe in things like that, so that's kind of weird to me. Okay, here. Just trying to fix it to where we just had it. It was better. There we go. Next story, got one more, okay? And it's a biggie. This is a good one. Boom. New National Security Advisor just found a brilliant way to stop leaks. Trump is thrilled. This is a story by Lindsay Bruce, and all of these are out of Liberty Writers. After the disgusting political assassination of General Michael Flynn, President Trump had to find a leader who could be ready for anything. By the way, General Flynn was cleared of all wrongdoing today by the FBI. That's a video we did earlier. Enter retired vice... So I'm going to back this up and start over. I just wanted to mention that. But after the disgusting political assassination of General Michael Flynn, political assassination, not real, President Trump had to find a leader who would be ready for anything. Enter retired Vice Admiral Robert Harward. Harward is currently a defense contractor executive, a retired United States Navy SEAL, and a former deputy commander of the United States Central Command under the leadership command of General James Mattis. All right. He's a man you do not want to mess with. Knowing that so many of Obama's people are still doing this in his bidding and leaking confidential information to the liberal media, Howard had to find a way to keep his unit secure. And some water. So, Harward is making a seriously smart move. He is doing a full house cleaning of Trump's National Security Council staff. Harwood is bringing in his own team and not trusting anyone else with sensitive material. Too many left-wing ideologies in the White House and in our intelligence agencies have made President Trump their target. Robert Harwood's planned house cleaning is the safest way to ensure Americans will be safe. Can we get an amen on that one? And please share this with all your friends. This is the one. Comment below and subscribe to our channel if you haven't subscribed before. Some videos are shorter. I don't make all big videos, but I got a lot of videos. I'm a machine with these things, and just want to say that. Subscribe, and you can hit the subscribe button and the bell next to the subscribe button, which will give you notifications on all the different stories that we're doing all day long. And if you like what we're doing at Not Fake News, please like the video. It's important. It gets us to the top of the rankings. It shoves down the Democrats' rankings down. Boom, boom, get down. And we really appreciate it. So like the video, even if you don't like some of these leftists, right? Anyway, thank you. I'm rambling now, but I will see you next time at your real news station for the real news, not fake news.